So with the drop of update 4.3 and Cable officially getting his X-Force uniform, I see a lot of people asking, is this uniform worth it? Should you be buying this uniform considering the fact that we just got a 6,600 crystal pack for Psylocke for the Deadpool Epic Quest? And my answer to you guys is actually going to be very simple. I'm gonna give it to you guys right now. If you're trying to pick up this uniform in hopes of turning Cable into a PvP character, don't buy this uniform, okay? Because that's not gonna happen. Yes, Cable is gonna be considerably stronger in this uniform, a lot smoother to play. However, what this uniform does for him is actually make him significantly better at what he can already do, which is the PvE aspect of the game. He becomes marginally better there, and I'm gonna show you guys this today in this video. However, for PvP, Cable is still not going to be a Jean Grey, a Scarlet Witch, or anything close to that, okay? Yes, he's gonna be a little bit better in PvP in this uniform than he is without it, but he's still not gonna be a dominant driving force there, okay? So if your number one reason for buying this uniform for Cable is not because you like him and you want to make him a little bit stronger, and it's just because you want to bring him into timeline battle and other PvP type game modes, you're looking at the wrong uniform, okay? What this is going to do is make him even better in Shadowland, make him better in Alliance battle, and make him better in World Boss Ultimate, because his skills flow together really nicely. He has another iframe in his kit, faster heals, and significantly more damage, in addition to some crowd control. So if that's not what you want and you're looking for someone who's going to be a lot more dominant in PvP, the Cable is not going to be that guy. I can win with him in PvP, and if he wasn't banned this week, I would show that to you guys. So maybe next week I'll do that in a separate video, but I want to show you guys how powerful he is right now in this uniform. The changes between this and the base kit is actually pretty significant if you take a look at them right after each other. So I'm going to jump into the skill preview right here and show you guys, because some of you guys are saying that the changes is non-existent. It's very real. Okay, so if you take a look at the one skill, you'll notice that the iframe starts after the skill starts and it ends before the skill ends on the one skill, okay? And the three skill, which got changed, you will notice that there's a slight iframe there, and in order to get the heal for Cable, you actually need to stay in place for a good 3 to 4 seconds, and that's actually leaving you very exposed if you're up against anything that's kind of like a boss. If you're up against ads or weaker mob type enemies, the floating knives will kill them. Amazing DPS from those little knives, but anything else, you're just completely at risk in these two skills. However, if you change to the uniform, you'll see that right here, he's actually significantly safer. Take a look at the one skill. The iframe starts faster and it ends actually after the skill ends. And something I forgot to mention, without the uniform, which I'll go back right now and show you guys, take a look at the Aoe Radius and the duration of the one skill. You will notice that the one skill, the fire damage, that burn type effect, actually ends about half a second, maybe a second after the skill actually ends, right? And the radius is really not that big. However, if you take a look at the uniform, you'll see that the radius is a lot bigger, significantly bigger, and it lasts significantly longer. So you're getting more damage from the one skill, and the one skill is a staple in Cable's rotation. On top of that, for the three skill now, you can see right here, this is no longer a skill that you ideally should cancel unless you're playing ABX, because there's a good amount of damage behind it, and if you line up your damage proc on this, which ideally you shouldn't, but if you do, you can actually one-shot a lot of enemies with this skill. So this skill is actually significantly better, and on top of that, let's say you don't want the skill to play out to completion, you can actually just skill cancel it and you will still get the heal. As opposed to before, without the uniform, you would not get the heal. And this actually makes Cable significantly easier and a lot more fluid. The rotation in my book is exactly the same, so it's still going to be 4, 3, 2, 5, and then 1. and then go right back into it, but he's significantly safer and a lot smoother to play in this uniform. DPS is obviously going to be increased because of the fact that this is a premium uniform, but trust me guys, if you're looking for a character that is significantly more powerful in PvP, this Cable uniform is not going to do it for you. Because of the faster iframes, he will be a little bit better, but this is not going to be a PvP uniform, okay? That being said, guys, let's get out of here and I'll show you guys a little bit of gameplay with him. Alright boys, so really quickly before we jump in, I'm going to show you guys the setup for him. It's not really anything special. I still have a few more stats that I need to max out. We're running 123 for attack speed, 54% for critical rate, and to be honest with you guys, I want to give him more critical rate, but because of the fact that on his 2 skill, he gives himself 20% increase to crit rate, I think 55% is where I want to cap it off, because every time I use the 2 skill, I'll then be at 74%, which is pretty good for me. I have 200% for critical damage, 50% for ignore defense, and 48% for reduce cooldown duration. And that's because I messed up my cards, so I still need to play with that. But we're rocking energy attack with critical damage and some critical rate. I have 2 slots emptied right here and 2 empty on the 4th as well. And I'm gonna switch those over really soon. I just don't know what I want to put on it just yet. Oh yeah, let me show you guys the ISO set is fully awakened, and we're rocking a CTP of energy for this guy. Uniform is at advanced. I'm gonna get this thing to mythic. I started working on it prematurely, but I think I'm gonna pause for now until I finish up the Deadpool epic quest, and then I'll come back and finishing up. But before we jump into anything serious, I want to do a quick DPS check right here in story mission. So first we're gonna run against Surtur, then Odin, and then I'm gonna go up against Thanos, and then we'll jump into some Shadowland, show you guys how he performs in an entry mode, and then we'll jump into World Boss Ultimate. Okay, so a full test in a few different game modes so you guys can see how much damage he's putting out and what his overall survivability is like. So let's start with story missions and then we'll get into a little bit more. And just to keep this thing as short as possible, I'm only going to show you guys the boss fights. We start off with Surtur, and Surtur can penetrate the invincibility right here, but I don't think he's going to get a chance. Yup, he got completely obliterated. Literally one rotation of 4325, and that was all she wrote for Surtur. This guy is an absolute animal, guys. No joke. This Cable uniform in terms of DPS. And we're going to do the exact same thing to Odin. We're going to see how many rotations it takes for Odin. I think Odin will probably be able to take a little bit more because he has more reduction and he has that guard. Yeah, so that's the second rotation we're on right now. And I think, yep, ooh, Odin, he iframed it at the end there. Nice. Ooh, finished it up with the 3, guys. That's one of the very few times that I've actually let the 3 play out. But it actually does a significant amount of damage. So in the off chance that some of your other skills get cancelled, you can always rely on it for some damage as well. Now, Thanos may be a little bit more difficult than the previous bosses simply because he can penetrate the immunity. He can iframe while I'm iframing. And on top of that, he can just straight up remove the invincibility. So I'm going to be a little bit more careful here with him. I'm going to wait. And right there, you always want to wait if you're using someone like Cable with invincibility. Wait until you see Thanos moves his hand and he's about to throw his debuff bubble, and then that's when you want to actually start your rotation. But he got completely obliterated, guys. How long was that? I think that was around maybe 15 seconds. Let's see how long that was. Yeah, that was around 18 seconds, so this is actually a pretty decent time. I can't lie to you guys. Pretty close to what I got with my tier 3 Thor, and I'm not even at level 70 yet with this guy. So yeah, DPS is definitely still there, guys. Alright boys, so we're gonna run another quick test right here against Fluid 27. Since all of these guys have energy damage immunity, it should be interesting to see how fast Cable clears this in this uniform. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? That was 3 seconds. That was like 3 seconds. Oh my god, I'm pretty sure that's the fastest I've ever killed these guys in this stage right here. That's crazy. Like, the second phase took a little bit longer. Ancient One for some reason took a really long time to die. But the first phase, he killed Dormammu, Hellstorm, and Satana in like 3 seconds. That was insane. 10 seconds. Fluid 27, even with energy damage immunity. That is actually insane, guys. Even without him being at level 70 or the uniform being at mythic, I can only imagine once this guy gets a tier 3, the level of DPS he's going to have. Seriously, insane, boys. Alright guys, so we're gonna jump into World Boss Ultimate really quickly right here. And I'm gonna go up against phase 29 for Black Dwarf, since that's the highest stage I currently have cleared. I think prior to this, the highest I've ever cleared with Cable without the uniform was actually 27. It was a little bit of a struggle, but he still managed to get it done. And with the uniform, I'm pretty confident I'll be able to take on 29 with him. So we're gonna run She-Hulk for the lead, and then we're gonna grab Coulson. And where are you, Coulson? Let's go. And yeah, it's difficult, whatever. And I'm just gonna run with these strikers right here. Let's get it. So much smoother to play. But seriously though, the toxic meteors are really annoying. Honestly, these annoying toxic meteors, I freaking hate them so much. And one thing I wish they would have changed with this Cable uniform is the fact that, and that's, see, I really can't use his fifth because of that. As I was saying, the one thing I wanted them to change with this uniform didn't get changed. And it's the reason why I'm taking so much damage with Cable, and why I said this uniform just makes him better at what he can already do. Sure, it gives him more DPS, but it doesn't change the core thing about the character, where he's just a DPS monster. And before I was interrupted, I was talking about the fact that when you're using his fifth, you can't move him even if he's missing an attack. And that's actually really bad, because especially in this stage, right now I'm in a toxic meteor and that can hit me while I'm in the invincibility, right? So ideally I would want to move like some of the other characters in the game can, like Scarlet Witch. Ooh, I'm getting destroyed there. And that hit me, but whatever. So as I was saying, you can't move this guy when he's channeling his skill. So it just makes him significantly more dated. Like even now, like I'm in the toxic meteor, I have to actually cancel my attack completely in order to not die because of that poison damage. Whereas some of the other characters like Scarlet Witch, Adam Warlock, you name it, they could just keep moving around, keep dealing damage, keep channeling their skill, and not be getting hit by an attack that's keeping you stationary, right? So that's the one big downside about Cable, even now in this uniform. This guy's running around like a madman. I'm just gonna go pick up these. Oh, I can't get that? Whatever. What are you gonna do? Okay, I gotta move out of that poison thing. See, it's just so okay, I gotta move again because that's gonna keep me in place. Like, it's so inconvenient, and he just still feels so dated. Like, granted, his DPS is insane, still better than any other character that can channel, right? His channeling skill is actually the best channeling skill in the game in terms of just overall raw DPS. But still, the function that the other characters like Scarlet Witch and others have that make it so that they can move around and maneuver themselves to safety while they're channeling is something that Cable should have gotten on this uniform, in my opinion, and is the reason why he still feels so dated. But nonetheless, he's still incredibly powerful, and this uniform is just adding to that. I didn't do a really good job here showcasing him as good as I could have, but the twisters and the freaking poison meteors are really annoying to deal with a character like Cable that stays in place when he's using his most powerful skill, and you have to stand in place for at least 5 seconds if you want to get the most out of that skill. So yeah, that's all I have to share for today, guys. Like always, thank you so much for watching. Hope it was informative, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know what your thoughts are on Cable in this uniform. If you think he becomes a whole new monster and he's a PvP character in this uniform, let me know. Give me some tips, because in PvP he still feels kind of lackluster. Definitely harder to deal with if you know how to play him, and I'll definitely try to give you guys some PvP gameplay with him as soon as possible, but it's not a massive difference from the base.